Peace, folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought Series right here on the old TPOT YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why you're here. Tonight, broadcasting from a people house again. So no special effects tonight, y'all. No music, no sound effects, none of that. Just me. But tonight is the night we've always looked forward to. Tonight, right here on the old TPOT YouTube page, it will be the Unicorn 4, T.L.O.T, the Ladies of Thought, live and direct up in here. There's been a lot of stuff going on, y'all, in the last week or so. Last week's show got a lot of coverage and controversy. Everybody's been talking about it because, TPOT is just that kind of outfit where people want to talk about what we're doing. But, this week, or should I say tonight we will be talking about these YouTube streets. Because these YouTube streets are rough. But anyway, while we sit here and wait for everybody to file in, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the old links just in case you're feeling generous. And I want to thank y'all because last night I got quite a few donations. I appreciate y'all giving me your money because you don't have to spend your hard-earned money up in here, but you choose to do so, and X appreciates it. I haven't went through all the donations just as yet. The ones I went through, I did email them back because y'all know whenever y'all give me some money, I always hit y'all off with an email thanking y'all for your generous contribution to the TPOT platform. As soon as I get to going through them, everybody gonna get their own personal email. Those of you who donated last night, you know who you are, and I thank you. And if an email hasn't got to you yet, it's coming. All right, it is coming. What's up, WOTP? What's good? Yeah, so tonight we will be talking about these YouTube streets. And while you're sitting here waiting for everybody to file in, I'm going to go ahead and stick this right here inside the chat. If you're feeling generous, just go ahead and put some coins in this here bucket right up there. See it right up there, y'all. If you're feeling generous, all right. Go ahead and drop a few coins in the bucket. It's greatly appreciated because everything you send up in here, we take and we invest it right back into the old TPOT machine to keep bringing y'all this mind-opening content like we always do. So, tonight we're going to discuss the many off code things that we have seen on here. If y'all were watching last night, I actually challenged a bunch of Negro hoes last night. Of course, nobody showed up. What's up, Dark Man Jeff? What's up, brother Malika? What's going on, brother? I see you up there. Yeah, last night, I challenged all the naysayers and Negro hoes to a discussion to come on up into the spot and air their differences and speak their disgruntled words against TPOT, against me, against my platform, against all of that. And guess what? Nobody showed up. So last night, I said that I'm not even addressing these fools no more. And after tonight, we won't even be bringing them up anymore, y'all. We just won't. I mean, it's a waste of time. The only reason why I'm talking about it tonight is because I want to put it in a greater context. Um, because we can sit back all day, man, and talk about these fools, but it's just a waste of time, man. They don't. I mean, I don't make my content for them anyway, so it doesn't really matter, you know. But it is what it is. And tonight we're gonna discuss it a little bit to see what the ladies think about this, because they were actually a big part of the controversy that's been going on the last 7 days or so. The ladies of thought, particularly Lady Ming, you know, this is what brothers got to understand. Okay, this is what they got to understand. Now, TPOT, the Prophet of Thought Media, okay, has many members. Okay, there's many people involved. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's a platform for opening folks' minds up. That's what it's for. Okay, specifically. All right. So for people to think it should be something else, I suggest they do this. I suggest that they start their own platform and do the things they want to do. Um, Talk about the topics they want to talk about. That's what I suggest. Don't try to come up in TPOT and tell me how to run it, what to do, anything like that. Because what you're going to get is smoke. You know what I mean? You're just going to get smoked back. And I'm not going to be paying you any damn attention anyway. I mean, most of you dudes that talk that crap, you couldn't handle one of the ladies on my team, any of them. You couldn't handle Teach, Lady Ming, Lady Katz, Lady Kendra, Lady Classic. You couldn't deal with any of them. So just quit wasting your time, man. The ladies that I got on my team are very, 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 very smart. They're very intelligent. They understand what's going on. They understand how things work. They understand the manosphere. They understand what we're trying to do here. So for people to come at them on some old sideways shit is just crazy at this point. I mean, at this point, it's just crazy. Just like I told the brothers when I was up on a spot last Sunday, I said, man, these ladies been part of my team for a while now. They've been with me ever since like November. It's not like it's something new, something that dropped out of the sky. Okay, they part of my team, and that's it. You brothers who don't like that, if you think that that's simping or that's whatever, that's fine. Okay, just don't watch my shit. Because guess what? The ladies ain't going nowhere. They here as long as they want to be here. If that's a problem for you, I suggest you just flip the dial. Yeah, just flip it. Just flip it. If that's a problem, because the ladies are going nowhere. And that's pretty much it. Lady Ming, Lady Katz, then came into the building. I see y'all. You let Lady Katz beat you this time, Lady Ming.
Yeah, I'm just walking in the house, so
Okay,
about to
what's good,
mute up.
ladies? What's going on?
Hello.
I see you down there, Lady Kendra.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on? What's going on? Y'all ready for
Nothing.
this?
Yeah.
Um, Let me just do this. I guess we'll shouldn't Lady Classic. I guess she'll be along in a minute. Um, Might as well just get on right into it. Well, before we start, what I want to know is what is you ladies take on what's been going on the last 6 7 days with all the stuff that's been said about our last week's broadcast.
I think a lot of people are misunderstanding what happened, and instead of doing their due diligence, they just want to throw insults and let their feelings take over.
I agree. It's a lot of emotional outbursts going on behalf of as yet unnamed individuals. Because I'm not going to give anybody any shine today. But The whole thing, like Kat said, was misunderstood by many and willfully misunderstood by a few.
Mm.
Um, some people just want to watch the world burn, as Joker said, and it's true. After I spoke my piece on BGS Ibmore's Hangout, I have no more energy for that.
Mm.
This platform on Thursdays is for having conversations between people who are vested in addressing the issues of the community and finding solutions to these issues in as much as we can actually do. It's not just hot air. I'm actually about that life, and I'm finding the things that I'm able to do, and I'm doing them to the best of my ability. And those things may grow, the things that the effort and energy that I'm able to put forth may grow. I'm hoping that it does. But these are the building blocks. These conversations are the foundations and the building blocks to those things. And anyone who does not want to build these, does not want to involve themselves in building up the Black community within their own capacity to do so, you're not invited to the cookout. You're especially not invited to my corner of the cookout. I don't need the energy. We can't share space because we have two different ideologies. So there's no need to share space with those who aren't about this goal.
I agree.
Well, I say fuck them and feed them fish. That's how I feel about it.
I agree with that too. I agree with that too.
So there's that.
Well, it looks to me like there are a bunch of, I mean, basically what happened from last Thursday until present day just kind of proved all of the theories right about these men. And that is to say that they don't understand what a submissive woman is supposed to be and what that really means, and how much of a benefit an actual, not this bullshit rhetoric, but an actual strong woman by your side and in your corner can be for a man's life, and what that can actually mean for him. So as a result, they just showed that a woman's place to them is barefoot in the kitchen without an opinion, without basically a tongue or lips. Um, all the other noise that they're making is just in regards to that. And the reason why they feel like that is because they've never had interactions with, let alone the privilege of even so much as dating a good woman. At the end of the day, their fear of a good woman, their loathing and jealousy of the Pookies and Ray Rays and just about any man who can get a good woman has all been illustrated in the past week, and everything else is just noise. I don't care if they call it rhetoric. I don't care whose premises they reject. At the end of the day, they're not showing intelligence. They're not showing manhood or manliness. They're not showing character or integrity or anything else. They're just basically showing that they're weak basic fools still stuck in high school before their first kiss. So that's about it.
Yeah, because I was talking. My wife was asking me about it. We was riding in the car, and she was asking me about about the whole thing, and she was asking me like, what's the deal with these guys? I said, well, they are a bunch of dudes who haven't had any ass in about 10 years. So they're angry at women because they haven't gotten any ass in 10 years. So it's the woman's fault. it's the woman's fault that they haven't gotten anything from them in 10 years. It's all their fault. So they're very angry. They're very angry. No one wants to give them any pussy. So they're mad at that. you know, and they think that you know, all the Pookies and Ray Rays and simps, you know, like Xavier, you know, we're getting all the pussy. So they're mad at us too because we're getting some and they're not. That's what I was telling my wife the other day because she was asking me about it. So, you know, that's kind of where they are. You know, that probably doesn't describe all of them, but it does describe the sentiment of a lot of these brothers. And they expect the rest of us to be, because let me just put this out there, all right? I have my issues, okay, with our women. Trust me. All you got to do is check through my archives to find that out. But on the other side of that, I'm not pissed off and mad at every single damn woman because of what issues I have with a particular segment of the population of women. That's not enough to make me want to hate every damn woman that's walking the earth. That's just stupid to me. All right, that's just stupid. But these brothers have a tendency to take the position that, you know, all women are evil, women are the enemy, you know, that kind of shit. So to me, that's BS. Just like I told him that night I was up there. I said, look, man, I said, I got more skin in the game than most of you brothers. All right. I also told freaking Obsidian, I said, look, man, I said, you are a lifelong bachelor, right? I said, you don't have a lot of skin in the game. I said, you can go about your world and bend women across your couch and all sort kind of nonsense. I said, you can do that. I said, man, I got more skin in the game than that. I said, man, I got a wife. I got 2 daughters. I got 2 granddaughters. I can't sit back and say, oh, let the world burn. How the hell am I going to do that when I got people in it that belong to me? That's stupid. I said, I got more skin in the game than y'all. So you can't expect me to think like y'all, you know? I mean, I wouldn't think like y'all anyway, you know? I wouldn't think like y'all anyway, because see, I'm not of the position that even if I was one of those dudes, you know, who you know, didn't have a wife, I had problems with women and all that kind of stuff, what I would do is probably, you know, try to work on myself a little bit, you know, to try to rectify that situation, as opposed to, you know, just bitching and moaning about, you know, what's going on with everybody else and making it seem like it's their damn fault that my ass ain't doing that. You know, I mean, that's kind of the position a lot of them take. Maybe not all of them, but most of them, they want to blame the world because they ain't getting shit. So, I mean, and mostly women, they want to blame the women because women don't want to lay down with them. I mean, if women don't want to lay down with you, brother, you may want to check yourself. Yeah, you might want to check yourself, you know, instead of thinking that it's all the women's fault because they don't want you, you know. So it is what it is. And don't get mad at the brothers who actually get the women. Obviously, they got some kind of swag that your ass ain't got, okay, because they're getting the women. All right. The brothers who actually have women and getting women and all that kind of stuff, you don't hear them up here bitching and moaning and crying about women. Why would they? They got them. They have some. So why would they be complaining about whether or not women want to lay down with them? But this is the thing. And I'm gonna ask you ladies about this. Here on YouTube, right? We all know that in the streets, there's a particular code that has to be applied to life. There's a code that kind of has to be adhered to in the streets. Okay. On YouTube, there no such code exists. Well, it exists in certain pockets. Okay, certain pockets of it exists. But across the board, there is no code. A lot of times these dudes will do anything. These dudes will say anything. They'll go totally off code, totally off. All right. And then when they are confronted, okay, when they are confronted with whatever they've said or whatever they've done, they go to backpedaling, like they're on a bicycle. They go to backpedaling. They go to pretending they didn't say it and all that kind of crap. And what I think is that the internet, particularly media such as YouTube and Snapchat and Facebook and all that kind of crap, I believe that these entities have emboldened those who often would not be as bold. Now, of course, it's given a voice to the voiceless, but it's also given a voice to the freaking heartless. And that is the problem. It's given a voice to these heartless ass cowards who have a lot to say, okay, about other people. But when their opportunity comes around, they won't do it, as I exhibited last night. So let me ask you ladies this. Why do you think, what do you think about, I'm going to rephrase this. What do you think about the people, okay? The people that I challenged last night who didn't show up. What do you think about the people who, they'll say all this stuff in the chat room, they'll say all this crap in your comment section, they'll do all of that, but when it come time to jump on and hang out, whether it's mine, whether it's Brother Valdez's, whether it's the master teachers, whether it's whoever's, they will not show up. What do you think about those people? What's your take on these MCs, as I refer to them as, the media cowards?
Well,
I think. Mhm.
you want to
Go
go,
ahead,
man?
Cats.
Oh,
Go ahead.
well, I think you hit it on the head. They're braver, um, on social media because they don't have their real name up there. They more than likely don't have their face up there. And of course, they're not going to, speak to you on a hangout or any type of live stream because they don't want their voice to be recognized. So, of course, they're going to be braver typing in the comment section or in the chat room rather than talking to somebody or, just putting their face out there. So, yeah, they're basically cowards because they don't really want to, you know, confront anything that you have to say to them.
The internet, people try to say that the internet or YouTube is ran with different rules and et cetera, but I don't believe that because the internet is ran by humans and we should be carrying the code everywhere we go. So how I act on the internet or the things I do on the internet are exactly the things I would do in person. We would have had that conflict if we were in person too. It wouldn't have just been just because we're on the internet. So the reason why is because there's a bunch of people out here who are posing as real men and women when in fact they are not. There are people who were raised behind the screen door, people who have like physical ailments or medical conditions and can't leave the house, people who never jumped off the front porch with anxiety issues, chronic masturbators, that type of shit. That's what runs the internet. And they're doing exactly what they do in their regular life, which is throw rocks and hide their hand.
Mm, damn shame.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, you can definitely tell the people on the internet who have never been through anything and have never been about anything because they are the ones that come onto the internet. They act like tough guys. As Ming said, they throw rocks and hide their hands. And I'm not going to say, oh, I've had the hardest life or whatever, but it's just I've been programmed and conditioned and trained from birth, even just culturally through my family, and my parents and whatever, socially with my peers to the things I have gone through, that your word is your bond. So the only thing that you have is your word, and are your words. So therefore, whether it's on the internet or it's in real life, your words and what comes out of your mouth is equally as important as the behaviors, is equally as important as anything else that you can have. In fact, if anything, it's more so. The people who just run their mouths and won't stand behind their words are the ones who clearly don't know that, and it's because they never say stand on their own 2 feet or stand up as men or as women to defend their own honor or to defend the honor of others. And they've never had to stand by their words and realize that words are serious. And I don't mean like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me, kind of, but words actually hurt. No, I don't mean like that. I mean, as in, you running your mouth to the wrong person the wrong way at the wrong time can have really serious consequences. So it just shows me the type of people that they are. And it shows me at the same time that, just keep in mind that the internet is full of a bunch of fake ass people, sure, but they need to realize that not everyone on the internet is some fake ass person. And not everyone on the internet is somewhere in some other state, country, province, whatever, that will never reach you, never touch you. You don't know who's listening to you. You don't know who's paying attention to what you're saying. You don't know who's going to hold you accountable tomorrow when you walk through the mall, because, hey, they recognize your voice, they recognize your face, they recognize the identifiers you gave out online because you don't take life seriously. So I just think at the end of the day that they're fake because they've always been fake and they've always been about nothing, and they're always going to be about nothing because that's the kind of life that they live, and those are the kind of people they are, and those are the kind of people they surround themselves with.
Pardon me for a moment, because I'm eating. Okay.
You're allowed today, Kendra.
I'll be up in here eating and not bringing nothing for everybody.
Hey, it's Kendra's birthday. She's allowed to do whatever she wants today.
You gotta get in where you fit in. But what it says to me when they hide and it says that they know that the stance that they've taken is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are sure of a stance and you're sure you're right, or you at least have some good logic to back up what's going on, or you have something solid to back up your thoughts and opinions and your stances, you usually don't have that much of a problem repeating it to anybody. Even if it is just on a hangout or whatever, you don't really have a problem repeating it. But when you have an issue repeating it to someone else, or in real time, you don't want to be confronted with what you said, then that means you're wrong for what you're saying, and you don't want to be taken to task about anything that you say. And that is a sign of weakness, mental weakness.
Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, last night I was up here for like an hour and a half. I had an open floor for anybody who wanted to express themselves. Come on up here, call me a simp, do all that kind of crap. But no one showed. No one. All these gopher badass people didn't say a word, didn't show up, didn't anything. I had a couple clowns come in the chat room, and I had the old 2-minute ticker going, and I said if they don't bring their asses up here, just block them. And guess what? They just ended up getting blocked. They never said anything. So, I mean, and in reality, this is the thing. On the real streets of life, right? If you were to say half, if you were to say a tenth of the crap that people have a tendency to say on the internet, if you were to say that 9 times out of 10, when a person was to confront you, over the crap you said about them, you would probably be I'm almost 99% sure that you would find yourself in a position where you would probably have to defend yourself physically. But people on the internet can say whatever they want. I mean, they can say whatever they want. They could attack you. They could attack your family, your friends, your kids, your wife, your life, your platform. They can do all of that. And they can just sit back and type away and giggle. Just giggle. So when you give them an opportunity to say, hey, look, man, you got crap to say about me, why not you come on here in real time? I mean, we're all on YouTube. It's very easy to join a hangout. All it is clicking a link and joining in. I mean, it's very easy to get up there and say what you want to say. Just like I said last night. Obsidian had wrote me last week, okay, and he wanted me to come to his platform. All right. And I went. I showed up because I went there to stand behind the shit that I said and to confront him personally. You go and watch it, you'll see that I was addressing him personally. I said, I'm addressing you, Obsidian. All right. Because, see, what I say, I'll stand behind the shit. I'm not just running my damn mouth because I got two lips on the front of it. All right. What I say, I'll stand behind it. The decisions I make, I'll stand behind it. All right. And I told him, yeah, he did get bounced off of my shit. Yeah, he got bounced off. Okay. And guess what? I don't apologize for it, man. I don't. I just don't. Because, see, unlike most of these fools who are up on here, I'm not a coward with how I go about the way I do things. That I'm not going to do. All right. If I got a problem with you and I'm talking smack with you, you email me and say, oh, X, come on my show and say that. I'll be there. Just give me a time. Yeah, I'll be there. So because you ladies, y'all are on media. Y'all are on media a lot. Y'all are on different platforms. Y'all have your own platforms. So let me put this question in front of you. Do you ladies believe that certain platforms, people should be restricted out of it? Like, should we particularly single out certain individuals and say, hey, look, we don't want you in here? Should we be doing that? Should we be making a conscious effort? Because it's YouTube, so you can't keep them out. But should you put that in the air where we don't want you in this platform?
I think whoever created the platform should have the freedom to welcome whoever they want. If they want the platform to be for only men, fine. If they want for it to be for only women, fine. If they want both, fine. And I don't think other people should tell that person how to run their platform. Let that person do what they want to do, because you didn't take any part in building it. So, like, why are you criticizing them so harshly?
Yeah, and I think Kat's to me brought up my most kind of the thing that I wanted to bring up there. Whereas in that, it doesn't matter. You can be one of the 2,000 viewers. You could have been viewer number 2, subscriber number 2 for this person who built their platform. They get to decide what their platform is about. They get to decide who is welcome or not. They get to decide who's allowed to comment or speak on panels or whatever the case is. And that is up to the content creator. It's not up to you as a subscriber or a viewer or whatever. If you have a problem with the way someone else is running their platform, you have the right to unsubscribe and move on to a different channel. That's up to you. But you don't have the right to say, well, hey, I like the fact that this channel is 90% men and I want the 5% of women to go away, so I'm going to try to shame them and this and that and try to shame the content creator into making the 10% of women go away. If the content creator wants their platform to be set up in a certain way or open in a certain way, that's up to the content creator. If you don't like that, by all means, there are so many channels out there. Go and find another one. Unsubscribe from the ones who don't subscribe to the things that you want to see in the channels you visit.
I mean, you already know how I feel. That's what our last week was about. So I couldn't said it or did it better. What we watching? What we watching?
Oh, y'all can hear that? Y'all can hear the TV in the background? Well, I tried to condense my mic so y'all wouldn't hear it because I'm at my people house and they watching something on TV. I'm in the dining room, but they're in the living room. But they got a big, gigantic ass TV that takes up half the wall. So, so the sound is bouncing up in it. I didn't know y'all could hear that. Y'all should have told me. I'll mess with my mic a little bit. See if I can condense it out. I didn't know y'all
I
could hear
just
that.
noticed it just now.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know y'all could hear that. I thought I thought I had volumed it out with the old mic controls. I thought I had volumed it out.
I didn't say nothing. I said, well, X is running his show and he watching him a little Netflix, a little TV. I ain't saying nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? He want to watch him a little.
No. To be honest, y'all, I don't watch a lot of TV. I really don't. I watch a lot of news and documentaries. I don't watch none of the other shit. It's all crap to me. Sitcoms and all that bullshit. It's just crap to me. All it does is I feel like if I watch a lot of that shit, it's just gonna make me stupid. So, I don't mess with too much television like that. Well,
but
go ahead.
But I do feel like the content creator do what they want to do. Even if I find somebody's content personally offensive or I just feel like it's offensive anyway, I don't go to other people's platform to get triggered. People platform who I don't agree with, I don't come in their chat room. I don't leave comments. I don't make it my business to thumb down every video they make. I don't bother them because where I spend my energy is important to me and how I spend my energy. Very important to me. So I'm not going to spend it on, goofy shit like going to somebody's channel knowing you're not going to like what you hear, only to trigger yourself and then get mad and leave a comment. That's stupid. Just leave the entire platform. Throw the whole platform away. Just leave it. You don't have to bother with it. Let that person sink or swim with whatever they're doing. If somebody's got a platform and it's all men and they don't allow women to comment, okay, fine. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to me, So that's basically how I feel.
Yeah, well, just to piggyback what Kendra just said, that's a real awesome point. Like, who has the time to go from platform to platform that you don't agree with to make snarky comments or even, hateful comments? And that's what I was kind of alluding to when I made the comment that I have a life. Somebody made in the comment section, well, we all do, we breathe, and I thought that was actually quite clever. It was funny.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you got me there. But what I really meant by that is that when your life is full and you have other things that fill you up on the outside of the internet, you really don't have time for that bullshit on the inside of the internet because, as Kendra mentioned, your energy and your time is very important to you. Because your life is full, the free time you have to even do something leisure like social media, I don't have time to spend it with people who this is their life. We're both breathing, but it's a damn for sure difference between a person who comes on the internet leisurely or even as a job with a full life and a person who the internet is their life. That's different, and it's shown through the way they walk and handle these YouTube streets, how they moving about the streets. I can tell just how happy you are with that breathing. Are you really living or are you existing? And then you can tell that.
Yeah. Well, we've been joined by teacher Tanisha. What's up, Teach?
Blessings, everyone. What's up, Brother X? Hey, what's going on?
I called you earlier. Why the hell you ain't answer? God damn it.
Hey, what you tone a voice with me, sir? I was in here with these children.
Okay.
With my children, I had to get them
settled. I got the stuff.
Hi, unicorns, elements. Hi, babies.
I got the stuff that you sent me. So,
hey, sweetheart.
You heard me?
Yeah, I heard you. Hi.
We're gonna have to wrap, Teach, because we're gonna have to do like a video call so I can, show you how I'm setting shit up. We gotta do that within the next few days, all right?
Yeah, I know for sure.
All right. Being that you're here, I guess I can throw this question at you too.
Yes.
What do you believe? Okay. What do you believe as far as this media and YouTube streets, as I often refer to them as?
Hmm.
What do you believe is wrong with a lot of these people? What do you think the ultimate goal or end game is for a lot of these people who get on here and they talk all this crap to you, and then when you challenge them to come on and talk about it, they won't? What do you think their end game is?
Um, Probably just to get on people's damn nerves. They probably feel like they get a lot of attention because they strike people, in the heart. They say something that's gonna get them riled up and it's gonna cause a debate, it's gonna cause attention to come towards them, even though it's mostly negative attention, but they feel like they can, profit off of it. That's more views they get, more attention they get, more people, coming to their channel. So I think all the hype is for them to make money. You know what I mean?
Mm.
For me, that's the main thing, and to get attention. Unless, unfortunately, they're just an asshole with a lot of equipment and a mic, then unfortunately, a lot of us have to suffer through that part of it.
Mhm.
But if it comes down to why are they intentionally doing and saying things that are not so nice, that are not so positive, not so uplifting, to get under people's skin, to get them in a certain type of energy or a certain type of way where it's gonna make them be like, oh, I can't stand that person. He just hate black folk. He just disrespectful as all hell. He don't like black women. And then they start to talk shit, and then they gotta get a nice little infomercial letting niggas know don't try it.
Well, I caught a lot of heat. I got some emails as well from a few dudes. I mean, some, it was pretty much 50-50. Some of them was totally, totally, totally disgruntled. And then another 50%, guys was like writing me. It was like, oh, well, X, we had to go watch your stuff. And, we reevaluated, we reassessed you and all this kind of nonsense. And
Reassess, like you had to wait for
yeah,
them to do anything
yeah,
to get up.
like I give a damn what they think. Like I give a damn what they really think.
Yeah.
Um, But a lot of brothers was like, "Oh man, you shouldn't." They was, "Oh, you shouldn't have girls on your platform. You shouldn't have women talking on your
That's
platform."
stupid.
But this is what they don't understand. Teach. Obviously, they haven't been following TPOT media long.
Right.
TPOT media has always had women in it.
Yes.
Ever since I was on the radio, when I was in the booth working for Nubia Hood Radio, I always had
Yes.
women part of my platform. I mean, at any given time, I had 2, 3, female co-hosts.
Right.
You've been with me since the beginning. I mean, so these are Johnny come latelys who are trying to. I think they've labeled what happens often on YouTube. Okay, on these YouTube streets, what happens often is that people see you up here and they make a blanket judgment. They paint all of us with one brush and they say, "Oh man, what's he doing? He should be doing this, doing that." But I keep referring, and I can't say this enough. You need to check my archives. All right, you need to go back, check my archives, and you'll see what we're about. Okay, what we do. I mean, you look at these ladies right here that's on this panel. I mean, they didn't just get on this panel yesterday. They've been on this panel since like November. So I mean, it's been a while. So
Yeah.
I mean, you need to go back and do your research, and get that empirical evidence that they're always talking about. They need to go back and get that, and then come back and talk to me.
Right.
Well, let me say this. Let me ask all you ladies this. Often, when people, have a problem with each other in the streets, we talking about in the streets now. People have a problem with each other, and they happen to confront each other. More than likely, they might end up with some scrapping. Yeah, they might end up scrapping. But see,
Right.
on the internet, it's different. You could come to my comment page and write me a whole damn soliloquy.
Dissertation.
Yeah, you can write me a whole book report of things you hate about me and what you hate about my platform and hate the way I look and also kind of nonsense. But if I come to your page, right, and I confront you on it, guess what? You can choose whether or not to answer. You can say nothing, or you can come on my next video and bitch and moan about that. So you can go back and forth with somebody for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and never get that hangout. You see how all you ladies sit on this panel right now? Right now, you'll never get those people that talked all that smack. They'll never get here. I'll reference last night. I mean, I wish you had came on last night, T. I was having a ball in here by myself because I was challenging the Negro hoes, and not one showed. Not one. I mean, not one. It was just me and the fish.
Not one.
Yeah, not one. It was just me and the fish. Yeah, I was sitting in front of the fish tank. It was just me and the fish. Okay, and my audience and my moderators. That's it. No angry Negro hoes. But let me get back. Let me go ahead and ask the question. How do you ladies think it should be handled? For instance, say somebody got a problem with me and they have a channel like mine, or maybe they don't have a channel, but they have a YouTube account. If we have problems with one another, what do you ladies believe should happen? Should we just go our separate ways? Should we hash it out on a hangout? Should we find out where each other is and fly to their state and fight in the park? What should happen when there's because there's always going to be some problems. It's never going to go smooth. So when a problem does arise on these here YouTube streets, what do you ladies think should happen?
Well, I mean, unless it's gonna be a debate, if it's like a debate, or you and the other person or persons, or handle it on a media platform such as YouTube or Hangout or whatever, I don't feel like, I wouldn't do it myself personally unless in some type of way it was gonna benefit me. So if I know that me and this person, is hashing out our differences via social media, and it's gonna bring people to come and be like, yo, Buzzy, but if it's gonna do something like that, then yeah. But if it's not in any way gonna benefit me or like my team, I wouldn't even bother. To me, it would be a waste of energy, and I'm not gonna sit up there and meet nobody no damn way, especially if you're in another state. I'm supposed to waste traveling money, or if you drive, gas money and all this stuff to come fight somebody with a different opinion. I mean, an asshole is always going to be an asshole, but so much you can do to convince the person to open their mind. Everybody's not on that level. Okay. we know that, Brother X. It's not happening. With the unicorns know it too. That's why my baby had to go off last week. Okay, we ain't going to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it. Yeah.
I feel like whether or not, is somebody talking?
No.
Oh,
by the TV again. By the television.
No, the pictures popped up on a hangout and I thought maybe I could hear. But the thing about it is, it all depends on what the intended goal is. Is this a person that otherwise you kind of agree, or you and this other person have a similar goal in mind, but maybe just different opinions on how you could reach that goal, but you and that person can still kind of move forward together, then you should hash it out as best you can. But if it's a troll or just a motherfucker coming through to disrupt, that should be ignored. And it all depends on, if you can, and when I say you, I mean the general you, can discern the difference between somebody who simply has a different opinion and we can kind of hash it out or debate it out, or somebody that does your opinion really matter? And do I give a shit? Am I gonna lose any sleep because you don't like what I said? If the answer is no, then I don't need to talk to you. Like on my platform, I ignore trolls. I ignore and block them. I block them. I don't have time for it. I don't even want to read your little stupid troll comment. Because what I'm doing, I'm gonna do. If
Facts.
you don't like it, you don't have to like it, but you will move out of my way, or I'll just go through you because you're not gonna please everybody. Somebody's not gonna like what you're doing, no matter how positive you think it is, no matter how uplifting you think it is, no matter how truthful you think it is. There's always gonna be somebody that come around to hate and to troll and to talk shit. I don't have time to address all of that because that's called a distraction. That's called taking me off my square. And I can't be taken off my square every time somebody, huff and puff. You huff and puff and blow the motherfucking house down. But I'm going to keep rolling and doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to stop me. I'll stop when I get ready to stop. That's when I'll stop.
I agree. I say ignore them, let them have a one-sided beef with themselves.
Argue with yourself in the mirror.
Yep. Because it's not like okay, if you catch a flight and try to fight them, what are they going to do? If they're a troll and they're a coward, they're more than likely going to call the police on you. And then what? You're going to go to jail for a troll.
Yeah. Well, the way that I don't know, I think it depends on the type of person that you are, and by person I mean as in, for example, like I wish that I had the ability to like think on my toes and roast someone, let's say, like in the moment, or even like just in a live stream or whatever. I'm better at writing things down. But with that being said, like I just don't have the skill required. If you have the skill required to slap someone down verbally, put them in their place, roast them and just show everybody what's really up, then I think that is definitely a viable option for how to respond to trolls and foolishness. I think though that if you don't, like, for example, myself, me responding to trolls would probably end up in me trying to have a logical debate or argument, quote unquote, with them, which doesn't work with trolls because they're not coming from a logical standpoint. So in and of itself, I'm just wasting time and energy and life arguing against somebody who's not coming for logic. They're not coming from the truth. They're not trying to sit there and tear things down and whatever because of the truth, because of reality. It's because of maybe their own work sense of reality, but a lot of times it's just over some type of butthurt bullshit, right? Most trolls are little bitch babies. So as a result, in that case, it's better for you to just ignore them, keep it moving if you can. If it's happening in the moment, you're going to respond the way that you respond to things. But I mean, a lot of them, when you give them the attention, you're giving them exactly what they crave from you, because normally the reason why they're trolling you to begin with is because they can't get attention from someone who's as high quality as you are in real life. And this is the only way they know how to do it.
Like the ladies already said, it's a time and a place. This is a situation by situation. It's a case by case circumstance on how best to approach the disagreement. More often than not, I think not giving attention seekers attention is the best way to get them to just shrivel up and die or go play in somebody else's traffic. But yeah,
Don't you just love the way she describes things? Go ahead, lady.
And I am a little bit of a shit talker. Probably I wouldn't call myself a roaster. I would say a shit talker. So I can go back and forth, but I don't like going back and forth because at the end of it, whether you win or lose, it still drains you and depletes your energy and, changes your focus. You're no longer in control. And I like to be in control. So if I'm being reactive, then I'm not in control. I've just given you my control. So
Mhm.
but then there are other instances where you have to show up and show out. Sometimes you got to kick ass and take names later and sort the
Mhm.
rest of the shit out after the fight is over. But again, that's situation by situation. So it behooves everybody in this world, period, but more so even on the internet, to try to sharpen their virtual discernment so that you can know when and best to pick and choose that battle. And then
Yeah.
there are some, as and then you have internet bullies like you do in the world. No matter how much you try to ignore them, they're going to still keep picking with you until you give them what they want. you know
Mhm.
so you may find yourself in that situation. The biggest key is figuring out the situations that you're in so you'll know which one of your tools to use and at what time.
Yes. Mhm.
I agree. I totally agree. It's it's crazy because some rules have a tendency to apply on the internet, and then you have rules that do not. Um, I refer back to a video that my boy brother Valdez made the other day, and he had a collage, with all the brothers from the Manosphere. He had all that. He talked about how, me and him and the master teacher BGS, we have women part of our platform,
Mhm.
because we're trying to do something different. We're trying to interject some common ground between male and females. Um, we're trying to make it seem. I know me. Okay, let me just speak for me. I'm not going to speak for anyone else. I know that when I started my platform, right? I started the platform with the unicorns because I wanted women to be able to come on and talk about the same kind of shit that men talk about, but talk about it from a female's perspective because I thought it would have more impact. Okay. Because brothers like me, and I've said this many, many times, brothers like me, we can say stuff till we blue in the face, but it's not going to have the same impact as if you ladies say it to other ladies. And some of the stuff won't have the impact unless you say it to men. I mean, that's just a fact. So I've I've tried to make this platform so it kind of bridges the gap between black men and black women. And the reason why I have you ladies on here is because I know that you ladies you're inside the media and you're inside the manosphere, and you have an understanding of what the men are trying to do. And you have exhibited that over a course of time, and that can't be disputed by anyone, regardless of what people say and regardless of how people troll and all this kind of crap. That cannot be disputed. It just can't, regardless of anything else. That can't be disputed. But with a lot of these dudes, and I talked about rules, I just talked about rules applying. Some rules do apply, and then some don't. Because if you think about the streets, a dude who had, like, say, a master teacher BGS, where he has his BGS for women channel, where BGS has 9 and 10, and women rotating in and out on his panel. In the streets, if you saw BGS somewhere and he had 9 or 10 women with him, he would be well respected. I mean, he would be looked up to a little bit. I mean, you'd have a little micro piece of hate there, but for the most part, they'd look at him and be like, damn, he's the man. And vice versa with me. If I walked into somewhere and I had all 5 of you ladies with me, I mean, brothers really wouldn't be hating on me. Brothers would be kind of like, damn, he must be the man. So those rules have a tendency not to apply. Um, I think there's a lot of envy, okay, on YouTube, for starters, not just YouTube, other media. I think there's a lot of envy, um, People are envious about how people run their platform. People are envious about how many donations a person get. They are envious about who's on the platform, the graphics, the whatever. I mean, they're just envious about so much little shit. So you have to wonder, are they taking it more personal than you? Do they equate it to real life more than you do? Because they have a tendency to be so vitriolic and beside themselves over stuff that happens on media. They're just besides themselves. You know, they just can't get a grip. I think this, and I'm going to ask you ladies too. I think that a lot of people, internet is an escape for them. Well, I think it's an escape for a lot of us. You know, it's an escape for me sometime. But I think it's a big escape for them. They actually can get on these platforms and say and do things that they would never be able to say and do in real life. They can find others who are like-minded and they can back it up and echo it. Okay, they can echo their sentiments. But what I also believe is that it also exposes, the internet doesn't just expose the strengths of people, it also exposes the weaknesses of people. And I believe a lot of these people, their weaknesses are starting to show because they don't operate under any type of structure whatsoever. Because a lot of this stuff you see is just basic common sense. I mean, Lady Kendra spoke about it earlier, where, you're not just going to go to somebody's channel just to tell them how much you freaking hate them. That's stupid. That's dumb. But you have people doing it. And it's not like it's just a small fraction of people. It's a big swath of people who will come to your channel just to tell you how much they hate you. And you have to say to yourself, well, why the hell are you here? I mean, give a new meaning to the phrase, the person you love to hate. They give a new meaning to that phrase.
Yeah.
So let me ask you ladies this, as far as these YouTube streets are concerned. Now, YouTube has tried to be, more PC and trying to be traffic cops, so to speak, because they'll bring down stuff. They kind of pick and choose what they bring down, but they're trying to police it, I guess you would say. Do you feel like there's too much policing on the internet? Do you feel like there's too much policing on YouTube and Facebook and everything else? Should everybody be able to say whatever hell they want to say up on here?
I mean, if we dealing and talking about freedom of speech, that shouldn't even be questioned because people are allowed to say what they want to say. Now, I think it depends on how much energy we give to the negative people. Like sis said, you're always gonna have trolls. Where the hell are they going? It all depends on how you yourself handle them. I wouldn't even give them any energy. You understand? Because your attention, wherever your attention goes, it gets fed. So why would you have your attention go to something or someone who is not like conducive to anything that you're doing? It don't even make no sense. Don't give them no energy. Don't even bother. As far as like for people who are policing and monitoring and stuff like that, I mean, if they're good at it, then hey, then police and monitor on. You know what I'm saying? If that's a way to help minimize the trolls, you know what I mean? And minimize the effects of the trolls. Because especially if you're a sensitive person, you can't be out here giving energy to every single person who has some bullshit to say or videos to make or whatever, especially in a situation that they cause. It's kind of like, okay, you sit there and wallow in that shit. I ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? They'll look for outside scapegoats. You know what I mean? Instead of dealing with whatever problem they cause for themselves, they'll look for every and any other person or thing or situation to blame it on. So when dealing with people like that, we can't even bother. Like the people who are policing and monitoring and all of that, that's great, and continue to do it if you're good at it. But as far as me being able to do that, I wouldn't even, I'd be like, no, I can't be the moderator. I can't watch. I can't police. I can't do none of this shit because I ain't got enough energy for people and places and things like that, you know?
Well,
My energy got to go towards other stuff.
if we're talking about YouTube specifically, I do know that YouTube is ran by a white feminist lady, and basically they're trying their best to stifle black voices. So you'll have certain people in certain sections of YouTube who will try to use that to their advantage, and they'll go on like quote unquote flagging parties and flag down people's videos and channels just because they're trying to bring awareness to a certain situation, whether it be racism or men's rights or whatever you will. So yeah, I think that the policing can be over the top sometimes. I do think people should have the freedom of speech. And if what they're doing isn't causing any immediate danger to somebody else, then, they should just let it fly. Because, like, with YouTube specifically, I mean, they'll stifle black voices, but then they'll let, like, racist people say some of the most heinous stuff about black people, and they let that stay up. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times somebody flags it or says, hey, this is dangerous, this is dangerous rhetoric or something. They'll be like, well, whatever, but they'll be quick to take down a black person's channel. And it's kind of shameful that you have other black people in this section of YouTube who will try to use that against, other black content creators. So that's my take on that.
Of course, I agree with that. Calling white daddy on black folks is never a good thing. So all those clowns who do it, they're jackasses. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, and this is an important point, is that first off, I am speaking about people who actually create their own content. So, for example, stealing other people's content and displaying it on your own channel doesn't qualify. um, you know, Having a stream where every single day all you do is go on to try to instigate people's cat said to try to flag other people's channels and bring them down or try to mess with other people's lives or money, um, that doesn't qualify as content. Now, if you're going to be someone who is going to review other people's videos because, say, you disagree with points and whatever, and you put some thought into that, sure, that qualifies. So if you are actually doing your own content, no matter how much I may disagree with you or find you distasteful in any way, shape, or form, I think you should be allowed to give your content and put it out there as freely as you want. Now, with that being said, just like I think you have the freedom of choice to post whatever you want, people obviously have the freedom of choice to critique you and to dislike whatever it is that you've made and to make their own answering videos or whatever the case is. Like I don't think you have the right to sit there and put up whatever you want and then everyone just to sit there and be like, oh well, yay, you made content, no one can speak against it. Like, no. That is the magic of YouTube, is rather than say with network television where we just have to watch and hate it from over here and we can't do anything about it. We can make our own television shows to answer you. So I do think that with that being said, if there's only one side presented, then people aren't thinking for themselves when they come on. And I think that, and especially in a sector like this where we're talking about opinions and social issues, that all sides of the spectrum should be available and visible, even if I don't like those sides, because the people, when they come on to my side, for example, I want it to be because they've been able to see all of the available thought processes out there and they actually made an informed decision. So yeah, I definitely think you should be allowed to put whatever you want on there. Again, not to hurt other people, and it has to actually be your own content. But otherwise, yes.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. Was that everybody? I know Lady Ming had to step out for a second. I think Teach done ducked out on me too, damn it. All right, well, let me ask you ladies this. When do you think, for instance, let's talk about me. Last night I was pissed off. I mean, I had been pissed off all week, and I was just sitting back waiting for Wednesday to come so I could address the detractors and the naysayers. So do you ladies feel like there's ever a time where you should address the people who troll your channel, who say these crazy things about you? Is there ever a time when that should happen, or should you just ignore them all?
If they're a troll, ignore them. But if it's a person who's really trying to understand where you're coming from and what you were trying to do, then then you can have a discussion with them. But if they're just trolling just to be a jerk, I'd say ignore them, because they're not trying to understand anything. They're not trying to do anything positive. They just want to, do whatever gets them attention.
So should I have challenged the nigger hoes last night? Should I have challenged them to come on and speak their piece, state their case? Should I have challenged them, or should I just have ignored them and moved on?
I think.
How about? Oh, go ahead.
Well, with last night, I don't think so, because they ended up not showing up. They just wanted to, the thing is, when they addressed you on the other guy's stream, they all basically got whatever shots in that they wanted to get at you. So, and they weren't going to come over here where they figured they wouldn't be able to have an advantage to get at you in the same way. So, they're just going to act cowardly. So that's my take on that.
Anyone else want to chime in on my question? Go ahead, Lady Kendra.
I'm all about ignoring people when they troll, and when I know that there's not going to be any production out of it. Now, I can't just wash my hands completely clean, because everybody know I'm with chits. I will mudsling. I will do it. But, I have to at least know that you're listening to the mudsling. Like, I want you to feel the mudsling when I do it. If you're not even going to feel the mudsling, I'm not going to do it. And so for the challenge last night, I can't sit up here and say, well, you was wrong for, challenging. You do, like we just established earlier, you do what you want to do. This is your platform. If you want to open up and hang out, BGS do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Somebody get crazy in his comments, he'll go right live and be like, okay, come up here and get this work, since you want to be a keyboard warrior. And, sometimes they come up there 1 or 2 times. Most of the time they don't. But you know what I'm saying? People are only human. And sometimes you do get fed up and be like, okay, well, say what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and say what you're saying. I'm going to give you your little time to say what you're going to say. So I can't sit here and say that it's wrong, because I can't sit here and say that I would never, ever do that. But for the most part, trolls need to be ignored because they want attention, specifically because they want your attention. And it's like they're saying anything, doing anything to get to you. And my thing is, they don't know me. What they gonna do? What are they really gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not here to explain myself to you. I'm not here to prove nothing to you. I'm not here to, you know what I'm saying? Because if it was like that, I would have tried to jump on old boys panel to defend myself or defend Ming. But Ming don't need defending against that.
Nope.
Neither do I. I did it the first and last time on BGS's platform, and BGS asked me to come to the platform to speak my piece, and that's what I did. After that, there is no more energy. It's cut. It's done. It's over. Finito. You know what I'm saying? You don't get anything else from me because, first of all, I'm not thirsty for attention. Second of all, who gives a fuck whether you like me or not? Whether you can appreciate what I do on these various platforms, you may very well can't stand my motherfucking ass. That's fine. Then you won't not be the first and will not be the last that couldn't stand the ground I walked on. Now ask me, do I give a shit? You can kiss my soda cracker and my acca-bacca.
I never heard that.
That's what you can do. I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care. Okay? Because I'm doing what I want to do. And if you don't like what I'm doing, feel free to leave. Hit the damn door.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Huh?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question for me, please?
Well, I said that should, these people that come on your comment section and in your chat room and troll you hard, and should you address them or should you ignore them? And I also I put this to Lady Katz and Lady Kendra too. Should I have just ignored the people? Should I have not called the Negro hoes out last night? Of course, none of them showed up. None of them showed up. None of them showed up. But should I have called them out? Should we just ignore these people and go on about our way?
Well, I mean, I think that the choice as to whether or not you should call them out or whether or not you feel that you should, I do think that it's a personal choice, and I think it has to do with a little. For example, I mean, on my channel, I don't do live streams or anything, and I get trolled. I have a comment right now I'm about to decide how I'm going to respond to, where they come after me. Oftentimes, they didn't even watch the content. They just don't like the title of what they assume I'm going to speak about or whatever. And, I think that you've really got to decide for yourself, especially as a content creator. Now, did they come after you? I think in a materially important way that you should respond. So as in, did they come after your character in a way that you think that, I would say it's damaging, but more that it was listened to? Or, are they coming after your money? Are they coming after your family? Are there certain things? I think there are certain things that as anybody with any type of self-respect and self-pride, they're gonna respond to regardless, because it's crossing the line and it's creating maybe a topic of discussion regarding you that is wrong, and so you're gonna want to respond. So if someone's gonna call you simp or whatever, I mean, people are gonna do bullshit like that anyway. But it's like, if you feel like, okay, no, this crossed into a place where I have no choice but to respond, then you're going to, and you shouldn't stay silent because of anything or anyone else, because, oh, well, it's the more respectable thing to do, or it's the more this thing to do or that thing to do. I think you should choose your battles. But with that being said, there are going to be battles where you should choose. If it were me, I mean, would I have responded? I probably would have responded initially. And with that being said, because especially with all of the people in the comment section specifically, and then going on to other channels, I would have responded likely. And I would have made it probably, for me, I probably would have done less of a caller type thing and more of a thing where I would have kind of planned out responding to the individual comments, like not all 200 of them, but I would have kind of made it in sections where, like, let's address this simp side, and let's address this side, and then that been thing where people could come in at the end. So I totally understand why you did. Now, with that being said, I understand why none of them showed up, because none of them were ever going to. They're all basically, again, as I said, they're little bitch babies. They sit in the loser reject pile. And then what happens is now they have a king, they have a leader.
My phone, because you keep on making me laugh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But, now they have their king, right? Loserville, and, they're so excited. But the thing is they're never going to show their faces. They're never going to let you hear their voices. They're never, they see the way, for example, Angry Man's got in on stutters and this and that. They see how, BGS is ruling and like destroys them. They saw the video that you did about Kenneth Thomas. And these are content creators that you guys have turned around and demolished. These are like the little like underlings of the Loser King. They're not showing face and putting out their voices for you to come and demolish them. There's no way, because they're nobodies, and they know they're nobodies. So I think when it comes down to it, like, the nobodies, no, they just prove that they're not worth anyone's time as far as listening to them, believing them, responding to them in any way, shape, or form, because they have the balls, which doesn't take much for them to jump on a train that's already speeding forward. So if there's 700 other people that have already expressed this point, then they can be number 701 to say the same thing and be like, yeah, that's right. But, they don't have the nerve to stand on their own 2 feet and say, okay, yeah, I'll stand up and I'll defend myself and I'll defend my word. And, people like that don't deserve anyone's breath or time, because it honestly is just a waste.
Well said. Well said. Negro hoes. Bunch of Negro hoes. I can't even, that's why last night, after being on, for about an hour and some change, and finally discovering and realizing, coming to the realization that no one was showing up, I had to apologize to my audience, because I like bringing my audience good stuff. And I have you ladies on here on Thursdays. T.L.O.T is here on Thursdays, and on Wednesdays I had to actually start, because this is the Proper Thought series, and I had started a series of where I was telling true life stories. I actually put one of those, I belayed one of those, because I had one set up for last night, but I said, you know what, I'll put that one off till next week, and I'll give these dudes opportunity to prove to me that they're not the cowards that I think they are, and because I'm trying to be on code, I'm not just going to talk a bunch of crap about you and then run and hide and evaporate like a drop of water on a hot August day on the side of a sidewalk. No, I've said all these things. So I say, okay, I'll open my platform up. I'll let all the naysayers and detractors and trolls and everybody else who thinks X is a simp and a punk and a faggot and all kind of stuff, I will let them come on and say it here in front of me in real time, because I'm trying to stay on code with these people, even though I feel like many of them are not deserving of it. I still thought, okay, I'll open up the floor. Maybe these dudes, maybe they can have something interesting or compelling to say. Okay, because see, I'm open to hear opinions that are different from mine, and I think that that's a problem with a lot of these so-called YouTube streets. There's 20 million different opinions on YouTube, and everybody has a right to those said opinions, but I think everybody doesn't think that way. People do not want you to have a difference of opinion. It's all right for them to have a difference of opinion from the masses, but they don't want the masses to have a different opinion from them, which I think is kind of ridiculous, to be honest. It's kind of ridiculous. And I think that more often than not, especially when you're talking about the internet, you run into that so much, You run into it so much because there's these different factions. Okay, there's a whole bunch of different factions, in this sphere. So when you run into these different factions and you got people playing both sides of the fence, which I'm going to ask y'all about in a few minutes, but you have people playing both sides of the fence. You have the so-called loyalists, and if you say one thing that they don't like, now they jump off of your team, and now they're trying to get on the next person's team, and all this kind of crap. So it is similar. Okay, it kind of mirrors the shady, backhanded, two-faced crap that you run into in real life. It mirrors that. So let me ask you ladies this, all of you. What's your take on the people? Because we've all seen it. I'm sure we've all witnessed it ourselves. What's your take on the people who play two sides of the fence? And I've seen that personally. I've had to cut people off and block them off my channel and take their rent and all of that because, they on here, kissing my ass one week. Then the next week, I see them somewhere else talking shit about me or talking shit about somebody who's a part of my team.
Right.
So what's your take? What's your ladies' take on that? The fence riders.
That's when you block their goddamn ass. You want to be a fence rider, nigga? Go. Oh, pardon me, y'all. Excuse me, I got a little bit too comfortable. But go fence with two other people. You can't fence with me. That's it. Block them, delete them, whatever. However, they wouldn't even get that. What you saying right now would be the only energy that they get for the duration of my career. I wouldn't even say anything else to them. I wouldn't.
I'd say, with a fence rider, just make the decision for them. I mean, the thing is, what's the point of going back and forth, like going over here talking shit about one person and then going to the person you was just talking about, going to their stream and then talking shit about the other person? I mean, that's just too fake. So get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. Anyone
Can y'all
else?
hear me?
Yes,
You hear me? I didn't know if I was muted. I mean, it's kind of like with anything, a person that doesn't stand for anything or fall for anything or however the hell the damn saying goes. But you get my point. Like if you don't stand for anything, you're not an asset to nobody. Really, you're not doing nobody any favors being on the fence, least of all yourself. Nobody wants a flip-flopper. You can't be trusted. You'll never get to the crux of the group. You'll never get the secrets. You'll never have the big fun because you're on the fence. And sometimes that fence riding will bite you in your ass when shit goes down, you know? So with them fence riders and stuff like that, when you identify one, because you know that word is also can be synonymous with shit starter, because a lot of fence riders start a lot of shit on purpose or not, but it does sometimes happen because you're in two places at once. When you identify that, especially a person who is detrimental to your movement, you kick them out. You move around. You just let them go. You move on. The big takeaway from this is not allowing yourself to be derailed in your pursuit of whatever goal it is you've outlined for yourself. And that's in real life and on the internet. Not allowing trolls and fence riders and all those other people to get in your way of what you're trying to do. Because a lot of time they'll just do it just to see you fail so you could be as miserable as they are. And it's nothing more and it's nothing less. It's not even fucking personal. It's not even about you. And that's why I said earlier about sharpening especially the social media discernment, so you can identify that, because as soon as you smell that, run the other way. Or those people that's trying to get super duper close to you, super duper fast. I'm sorry, super duper is what my kids say, so that's part of my vocabulary now.
Naturally.
Super duper fast. You got to watch those people too, So you really just gotta have your eyes and your ears open, and a lot of times your mouth shut, because you won't even be able to identify these people if you're doing all the talking. Just fall back and watch these people that's moving around you, the chat rooms, the message boards, the panels, and all that other type of stuff. You know, the streets are always watching. The YouTube streets ain't no different.
Mm-hmm.
And don't
Exactly.
try to make excuses for people either because you like them, especially as a content creator. Trying to be nice on a human level to people who are hell-bent on destroying you will only destroy you. That's it. You don't owe nobody nothing. You don't even owe them an argument. You don't even owe them a response. You don't have to show up to every fight you're invited to. That's just it. So like with your question about should you have done that, you should do whatever floats your boat. If that's how you was feeling, that's how you felt. And
Okay.
that's the end of the story.
Well, the way I see it is this, and the problem is that like not everyone is going to be polarized in every situation or every event. So, while one someone might find person A very polarizing, they either hate them or love them, and some people might be like, I see it, I can see both sides of the perspective. So I get when people do that. I mean, I'm someone who does that. And the reason why I do is because I'm looking at a whole bunch of different factors and I'm trying to evaluate things impartially instead of just responding with like, my first response or a gut instinct or whatever. I'm really trying to, I guess, be fair and impartial with every decision I make. It's kind of the person I am. So I kind of get when people do that. But it's one thing to do that, and it's a completely different thing for you to be like, I love this guy when you're on that guy's channel, and then you go to someone else's channel and be like, yeah, I hate that guy on someone else's channel, right? Because you're trying to be best friends and on everyone's side. And that's where it's some bullshit now. Have the courage of your convictions. You don't believe in anything, and at the end of the day, the person who doesn't believe in anything and wants to be everyone's best friend, they're basically like puppies, right? Like I call them puppy dog philanderers, because they will cheat on whatever relationships they're in, whether it's intimate or friendships or whatever, the second they can get approval from the next person's relationship. You know what I mean? Like they really, really love their boss and whatever, but when their boss's boss gives them an opportunity to fuck over their boss and whatever, and they're about to get instant approval, to be like, yeah, sure, man, yeah, okay, no problem, man, you're gonna love me, yay. And so I mean, not only are those people dangerous, and pathetic, but those are the type of people who haven't grown up enough to be about anything at all. And when you are, if you're just about shooting the shit, maybe you're in the ratchet side of YouTube or whatever, everything's about fun and clowning and whatever, then who cares? You don't care whether that person's with you or about you anyway, because this is just all some clownery for you. If you're about trying to build something and you're about trying to grow something, then in that case it matters. What does that person have an actual standpoint and an actual viewpoint? Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, I don't really care. If I agree with someone or I disagree with them strongly, but I'd like to know that, again, they stand by their own convictions, they're based on something, and those convictions stay constant throughout. So if you are, like for example with the Angry Man Army and whatever, then that's what I expect your movements to be about across the board. Someone shouldn't be able to catch you saying or doing anything anywhere else, because at the end of the day, that's what you're just about this thing. There shouldn't be something to catch. You know what I mean? If you really are, hey, if you really despise women, you think women shouldn't be speaking, then hey, I should never see you anywhere near a women's panel. I should never see you near anywhere where women are featured weekly. I should never see you anywhere where women are welcome. I really shouldn't see you in those places, because at the end of the day, you have this conviction that women shouldn't be speaking, and therefore it should be an affront to you that women speak. So if they're being invited to speak, then by definition, that place isn't for you. period. And you should be able to stand by that, and you should never bow to anything else other than, no, this is what I believe, this is what I think, this is what it is. Anybody who can't sit there and say, no, no matter what, this is what I'm not going to flip flop on it. I'm not going to make excuses. Yeah, but the thing is, because there's this time. No, I don't want to hear any of that. If you're going to make a strong stand, then take that stand. If you're going to say, yeah, I'm your friend, then you're my friend. But if you're going to say you're my friend, you're going to say we're cool, you're going to say whatever, then stand by that and do right by that. And if you can't do that, then again, you're dangerous and you're pathetic. And I don't really think you should be in anywhere serious where people especially are trying to build and grow and do something positive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And let me just say something else, because I gotta chastise y'all right now, which I normally do every week. Right here. Okay. You see right here down below. See where my hand is? Huh? Right here. See this? Right there.
Tell them to press the likes. Get your like pressing on.
You see that number down there? That number is lower than this number. Now you know those numbers need to be synchronous, because if you're in here, when you come in here, at least hit the like button. If you're not going to hit the like button on the way in, God damn it, hit it on the way out. And if you're feeling generous with some of your coins, hit that there donation link right there. See that? It's about right there now. It's rising up slowly. See that? Hit that donation link and drop a few coins in the bucket. It's greatly appreciated. Okay? So we need likes in this bucket, and we need a few coins in this bucket up here. All right? Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you folks. I do. I know I talk a lot of shit to y'all. I know I do. I know I get you mad. I know I make you upset. I know I do. I know I do. But I do it out of love for you. I do it out of love. Well, let me say this, right? Now, we have, especially in Black YouTube, when you talk about Black YouTube specifically, I mean, we have a lot of channels on Black YouTube that are specifically, the nucleus of that channel is for hate. I mean, just hate right across the board. I mean, every video, every stream is spewing some type of disdain for someone, problems with someone, and it's their right to do it. Okay, that's their channel, that's their network, that's their stream, that's their computer, camera, mic. They have their right to do it. My problem is this: when you have those same people who I say have the right to do and say whatever they want to do, those are the very people who have a problem with you doing what you want to do. Those very people who spend all their time spitting all this crap out, all right, they have a problem with how you do your platform, how you run your media. They have a problem. They are the biggest complainers, right? So, which begs the question, because I've always been weary, and my father has always said this. He said, always be weary people who have the mind state and say, it's all right for me, but not all right for thee. In other words, I can do whatever I want. You can do what I like, right? So with that being said, do you ladies think that we as people on the internet, on YouTube, do you people believe that we, whether it be content creators or people who just watch or whatever, people who participate in panels like you ladies, okay, you ladies here, right? Do you think that we do we take YouTube too seriously?
I think some people do. I think they do because they don't really have anything else going on in their life, and they really, I don't know, they think the people online are. Oh my god, I just lost my train of thought. Hold on, come back to me.
Okay, she just muted her mic. Somebody else want to go? She's muted. I don't know what happened. Cass just dropped off and then she went mute. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on, Lady Cats. I don't know what happened.
No, I forgot what I was gonna say. That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
But I do think some people take YouTube too seriously. Just simply put, like they want to try to hurt people's feelings and stuff. So they'll, if somebody doesn't like what a content creator made, they'll be like all in the comments section, just going super hard in the paint, trying to insult somebody, and then they'll be like, and I don't like you anymore, and I'm gonna announce that I'm unsubscribing from your channel, and yeah, that ought to hurt your feelings. And so yeah, those are a few examples of how they take it too seriously.
Mm-hmm. That'll show you.
The thing is I take YouTube, and I mean, as far as like other people, again, I evaluate the people I'm speaking to. I take YouTube about as seriously as I take, I don't know, my general social interactions, like at Walmart or whatever. Um, in general, that is to say that I don't come onto the internet and pretend I'm someone I'm not, because it's not really real. I can just be some fake persona out here or whatever. At the same time, I don't really take people seriously when I go out in Walmart, because normally the people who are interacting with you that are complete strangers are putting on some kind of front, because you don't know them, so they can be anybody. So they try to act maybe a little bit smarter or tougher or harder than they really are. So I think that there are some people who have nothing but the internet. And I kind of relate to that, being a sickly person who's stuck in bed most of the time myself. But with that being said, I actually have a persona and a character that I've developed and I've built and I've grown. And I don't mean on the internet. I mean as in the human being that I've built myself up to this day. And that's who I am on the internet, and that's who I am in real life. So you can't threaten that for me. You can't, I don't care what any idiot says about me on the internet. You're not taking something away from me. If the whole internet turned against me and decided I was an unwed mother with 6 kids and whatever, cool, great. It doesn't change my reality. It doesn't change who I really am. It doesn't change everything that I've really been through. And I don't need to prove myself to a bunch of people on the internet one way or the other. So there are a lot of people, though, who don't have shit in real life and didn't build shit in real life. And the only thing they have is whatever fake persona they made up on the internet. Those people take the internet, I think, too seriously, because they need the internet to validate them and to tell them that the fake person that they built up is being believed and is getting the respect, because it's the only way that they're ever going to get it. So I do think some people take the internet too seriously, and YouTube too seriously. At the same time, I think some people don't take it seriously enough, because again, you might bump into someone in real life, and if you've been a little too gangsta online, some gangsta you were talking to that's really about that shit in real life might bump into you in real life and then test your gangster. So yeah.
Anybody else?
Oh, I was running my mouth. I was on mute. I was saying I don't think that people take YouTube serious enough. Quite honestly, And I'm not talking about serious to the degree that you go shoot up the headquarters. But I am saying serious enough to understand that you are not anonymous just because you're on the internet. Everybody isn't broke. Everybody doesn't just walk within the 30-mile radius of their home. You know what I mean? Everybody, just because you're across the pond or whatever it is, you can't just assume that people can't find you. You don't know how savvy. You don't know these people. You don't know if these people are telling you lies or the truth. So you have to just assume, you know, that is serious. You just don't know. When I say they don't take it serious enough, they think that their words don't hurt people, not realizing that they can have deadly effects on people sometimes. Um, Especially social media, period. I mean, look at the suicide rate and the lives and the killing and all that stuff online. They're not taking this serious enough. This is some people's livelihoods. It takes a lot out of me to do what I do, and I don't even have a damn channel. So could I imagine doing what you do and Angry Man and BGS do? No, not at all. That's serious as hell. So for somebody to then come on your platform and wipe their shoes on it lets me know that they're not taking this serious enough. This is all one big fat fucking game, and it's not for everybody. And there's different levels to how serious it is for different people. You know, messing with people's money and their livelihoods and all those types of things because of a differing of opinion. That's ridiculous. So if you ask me, they're not taking it serious enough. I mean, for Christ's
I
sakes, people out
agree.
here getting CPS called on them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, look
Squat.
what just happened to Tariq. Yeah, now you know what I'm saying? This is serious. You have to be careful what you say. And you don't know who you're talking to. If you don't know who you're talking to face, what the hell you don't know who you're talking to on this internet. You don't know who you're talking to. And
Right.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, people don't take it seriously enough. I don't know how we get to 2018 and people still think the internet is a fantasy world. If you're not 12, I don't know how you think that. Um, Things that you say on the internet is not. It doesn't go into the land of Oz. You said it in the real world where you exist. People come to, okay, people, do we take YouTube too seriously? Do the people who make content and make thousands and thousands of dollars a month take it too seriously or what? And they build their business. Is that serious or
Exactly.
no? It's on YouTube. What is it? Fake? Them checks ain't fake. You know what I'm saying? Paying them
Hmm.
bills ain't fake. Um, so, especially when you have a platform, that's just like somebody being on television with a large platform. You become responsible for what you say and what you allow, you know what I'm saying, on your TV station or your TV show. This is not any different. More people watch YouTube now than they watch TV. Where is network TV? You pay for all your TV. TV is Netflix and Amazon Prime and Sling. It's on your Roku. It's on your Apple TV. It's on your Fire TV. It's on your phone. Nobody's watching 2, 5, 7, and 9 anymore. Not really. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really. And cable is going the way of the dinosaur. So many people are consuming media not through the television like they were 15 years ago. So is they not people not taking it serious enough because you get on here and you say whatever, people have lost their jobs, lost their career over stuff where on the internet because why? They thought it was anonymous. They thought nobody could see what you were doing and nobody knew what you were doing. I mean, like again, if you're not 12 years old, this is ridiculous thinking for any adult. I know what persona I'm building on this thing. I know what's too far for me to, or what, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it may not seem like it, but a lot of times I'll be quiet. Certain subjects, certain stuff come up. I'm not going to offer an opinion. I don't have to have an opinion on everything. I don't have to say something every time. I don't have to be involved all the time. Sometimes I won't even type in certain chat rooms because I do take it seriously because my reputation follows me everywhere. I'm still me. So what am I not me? Because I'm presenting an online persona, but the online persona is me. You know what I'm saying? So I do take it seriously. It should be taken
Absolutely.
seriously. It's not a game.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
Yep. I agree.
Because I know, I mean, if I wasn't self-employed and owned my own company, I wouldn't be on here talking the shit I talk, because I would have to answer to my boss or some shit when he looked. Be like, oh, yes, what did you on YouTube last night talking shit? I'd have to answer to that. But being that I run my own stuff, I can go ahead and I can pretty much say whatever I want, because see, I can go to my shop and I run it, so no one can say too much of anything. I mean, I've actually had people that work for me who actually watch my stuff, and they be like, "Oh, X man, I watch your stuff." If they were my boss, it would be different. They could say, "You know what, man? I don't like the stuff you say on the internet, so your black ass is fired." So I mean, this is what people have to kind of understand, because if what goes on the internet, man, what goes on social media, it may not be that serious to you, but it may be serious to someone who watches you, who see the things you type, hear the things you say. Okay, it may be serious to them. So I think we have to keep that in mind. I mean, and a lot of the things that we talk about, there's a collective reasoning for it, and then there's an individual reasoning for it. Now, collectively, the internet is supposed to be for people getting together and express their views and say whatever they want and all that kind of crap. Well, up until a little while ago on YouTube, it was like that. It's not like that anymore. But basically, that's what it's for people to collectively get together, speak about their ideas, meet up with friends, be creative, all that kind of stuff. Now, individually, like a person that has a platform where they come on every week, they come on every night. Some people have shows and all this kind of nonsense they got on here. Now, individually, it's different for them than it is for the collective, because the collective can kind of disregard it, but those individuals cannot, because like you just said, Lady Kendra, some of this stuff is people's livelihood. Some of these people, this is their job, this is their career. So if you cause problems with that, you're not just causing their YouTube channel to be taken down, you're causing them to lose income. Them losing income will cause them to not be able to pay particular bills, not be able to pay the car note, all that kind of stuff. So you affect a lot of stuff just by that one thing, because you're not taking it as serious as they are. Well, we almost come to the end of the show, so I want to ask y'all this one thing before we get out of here. If, for instance, say not just YouTube, but any media platform, if there's not a certain code of conduct amongst groups. Now, it may not be across the board, because I see somebody in the chat room study talking about this across the board way we should act. And I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but within certain groups, because all of we are in certain groups. I mean, we all linked to Brother Valdez. We're linked to the Master Teacher and Brother Samuels, and people like that. We're all kind of linked. We all kind of move in the same circles. So we are sort of a group, right? Should there be a particular code of conduct in that group, and should it be more stringent than the collective group outside of that?
I don't know if it should be more or less stringent because we moving in the same circles, but I'll make this example. Certain stuff is stringent in the Angry Man Army. It is. Discord is kind of stringent. If you're not participating or we think you a troll or you prove yourself to be a troll, you get the boot quick. It's quick too. We don't even play around. Now, the wider circle where we include BGS, we include Kevin Samuels and stuff like that, it become more difficult to be so stringent because they might kick it with somebody that I don't necessarily agree with. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be like, well, you can't kick it with them. You know what I'm saying? Because then at that point, it's like, who are you? You know, who you talking to? You know, how you telling me who I can kick it with and who I can't. But I think naturally we all sort of agree on certain things just because we are of like mind. You know what I'm saying? Basically, generally we are. We are able to kind of call out the BS when we get ready or when we see it. And we kind of generally agree on what is BS. Who's on BS? We usually agree with that stuff. So somebody that come fully out of pocket, we already come together to kind of ice that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've watched it happen on BGS Ibmore Hangouts plenty of times. Somebody come up there, got a weird story, you got a weird line of thinking. Brothers come together real quick to check it and tell you why it's being checked, why they can't allow that narrative to be spoken and to be continued and to give life to it. So with that being said, I don't know that it should be strict. So because when you talk about something being strict, then you have to have a penal code to go with it. Because how do you enforce anything without, you know what I'm saying? You have to be in control of the reward and punishment. And so who are we punishing and how? If one of us doesn't agree with the other one or somebody kick it with somebody that we kind of agree that we don't like that person or whatever, you know what I'm saying? How do you really even deal with that or quote unquote enforce something on them? What penal code are you using? What penal system are you using? And who agreed to that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a code everywhere. It might not be a formalized code like Kendra was talking about. It's an informal code, though. There's an informal code in your family, at work, on the internet, amongst your friends and your peer groups. I mean, we even live on code. You know, just say in this country or as Americans, you're off code if you're a murderer or a rapist, a thief. That's not on code of humanity. You know what I mean? So to say that there's no code or to say that there shouldn't be a code would be disingenuous at best, because whether there's a formalized one that we're using the word code, you are on code, when especially because we move in groups. It just is what it is. So there has to be a code. Otherwise you have just complete fucking anarchy. Just everybody just doing whatever the hell they want to do, you know. I mean, just look around what's happening now. I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but Trump doesn't operate with no code, and you can tell that by the way the world is, or the country is just running amok right now, because there's no code in place, a formal code. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? The informally, or his code is a little different than ours. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all following me a little bit?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So there's a code. There has to be a code, or else you don't know when somebody is not right? Like there has to be a bad for you to know what's good. You feel me? So we have to operate. And anybody that feels like they don't have to operate within code is not even somebody I really want to deal with, because what that tells me is that you have no boundaries. That tells me that you will do anything to anybody, anywhere, because you have no, at least, moral code that you're living by.
Right.
You know? So that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think there's a code. It's just that it's not a very structured code. It's not like written in black and white or anything. Um, Specifically, like on the internet, I guess, with like, if you want a good examples with these different channels, um, you know, if you're like, say, a moderator in one channel, you might mod differently for each channel because people want different things. Like, some people will say, well, let anything fly, and just as long as they're not like being disrespectful to anybody on the panel, okay, uh let the comment go. Or but if it's like somebody who's just really trolling like super hard or something, like, you might be stricter with on another channel or something. So yeah, I think there is a code on the internet. It's just that it's different for each group, and some groups are a little bit more loose with it than others. So that's all I really have to say about that.
Well, I would say I actually think that there is a code. Let's say, for example, in Angry Man Nation, there's a code, and there's actually a pretty, outlined structure. Like as far as for example, the ranking system, and it doesn't have to be now the ranking system. A lot of people know about it either because of Patreon or because of Discord. But with that being said, there's a lot of things that are kind of unspoken but understood. And if you got there and you're brand new and you didn't understand it, you figure it out relatively quickly. But okay, going into more general terms, for example, you go onto someone's channel, let's say, and you know that the person that has that little crown next to their name, well, that person is ultimately the boss. He's the boss. So whatever his words are, ultimately, if you're brand new, he says something or she says something, that's what goes on that channel. Then from there, you have moderators. And anyone with a wrench next to their name, okay, well, I assume that if they're going to post a link in the chat, that's safe. And that if they make a statement as to something I should or should not say or do, well, they're the bosses. They're the bosses underneath the big boss, and so on and so forth. You can tell basically what codes are normally, because the people who you start at the very top, the big boss, and then you got your mods who are the little bosses, and then you've got the people who are just well respected and known, and it seems like everyone's having conversation with them. Well, okay, they're kind of like supervisors. And they kind of let you know what the code of conduct is, and they let you know what's passable and non-passable behavior. And so it's up to you very oftentimes online for you to use social rules and social cues for you to figure it out yourself. No one is sitting there handing you the information and explaining it to you word for word. It's up to you normally. For example, like when I showed up here, I didn't just start talking right away. I was watching and, kind of reading the chat and trying to suss out what's going on. And then I said, hey, what's up? And then I kind of stayed kind of quiet, and I slowly opened up and, started speaking to certain people and whatever. And you kind of learn about what's what in that place. And you can maybe move up in the ranks or whatever, and as you do, normally you move up in the ranks and you become, say, more trusted, or you're given more responsibility, or whatever the case is, because in essence you've shown an ability to follow the code and to stick by the code and to live by that code. And a lot of that has to do with, the rules on that channel, but just also about self-comportment. How do you comport yourself when you're on other channels and other panels, and other situations where you're being seen, viewed, heard, whatever the case is. So I do think that there's actually a pretty strict code of conduct overall. Normally, a lot of these things don't come up unless they come up. But with that being said, like, there's just non-violatable rules, and you kind of, maybe you can't explain them all right now. I couldn't tell you 10 of them, but I know them when I see them. and I know someone's violating them when I feel it. It's an instinct that you have, and if you don't have that instinct and you keep violating the code in this particular sector or group or whatever or subgroup in YouTube, then that's probably not the right subgroup for you, because you don't live by that code. You don't have that code inherently present inside of you. Whatever code you live by, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, as far as your integrity goes, it's not the code that's here. So you probably, this isn't a good fit for you. You belong elsewhere.
Teach, you want to chime in on this?
Sorry, I had it on mute. Well, it should always be a code of conduct of respect for, people amongst the team, even though you said it's like the master teacher and then BGS and the other brothers' names. I can't remember everybody. But how between all of those platforms, including ours, there's, a rapport and a respect level, towards each other. And I think that that's how it should stay. That's how it should remain. And if other groups or platform, wish to, probably, not add to the other platforms, but in a way add to or come on each other's shows, or they find something similar between what they speak about and what we and the other platforms speak about, then they will also have to follow that rule, natural rule of conduct and code of respect, amongst each other. And, we can all have differences, but at the same time, we can express those differences in a respectful way.
I agree. And I'm going to say this before we get out of here. I think that often we get it mixed up. All right. Everybody has a different perception of what respect and code of conduct is and all of that. And that's fine. But I think often we get it mixed up where we think that we should treat everybody the way we want to be treated. And that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes you have to treat people the way they want to be treated. Yeah, not the way you would wish to be treated, but sometimes you have to treat people the way they want to be treated, because the way you want to be treated may not be good enough. God damn it. It may not be good enough. So the first thing you want to do, especially if you're trying to, because I see people, I don't pay that much attention to the chat room. I let the moderators run the chat room. My moderators got full scope of everything. They cut somebody's head off, I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? I don't second guess my moderators. If they think somebody was talking stupid and they kicked them out, I don't even care. All right. But if you're a person who's trying to get in to another platform and watch it and try to be a part of it, because if you're in the chat room and you're talking, you're trying to be a part of that platform, whether you're doing it for good reasons, bad reasons, nefarious reasons, or helpful reasons. You're trying to be a part of the conversation. And I think that a lot of times people don't think about that. All right. I mean, you are taking part. I mean, just like Lady Kendra was saying earlier, I mean, I've seen other people's stuff and I don't comment in their comment section or write in their chat room or anything like that. I mean, especially if I'm going to, if I have some type of disdain for what I'm watching, I'm just going to turn it off. I'm not going to write you this whole damn soliloquy about how much I hated it, because to me, that's just a waste of time and a waste of keystrokes. So what we got to understand is this, that many times, man, we as people, a lot of times we don't even know when we're infringing on someone's realm of respect or their realm of influence. And oftentimes on these platforms, I mean, you look at the names that come up in this platform, most of these names are familiar. Names you've seen in other places, names that you see in your chat room every week. So if you're a person that's coming from the outside of that, you probably want to try to sit down and assess and get a scent of the room, okay, before you proceed and say something crazy or say something out of line or whatever case may be. You might have to feel the room out first, you know. And hey, TPOT may not be for you. Yeah, you may not like the T.L.O.T broadcast. You may not like the Dark Exodus series. You may not like any of that stuff. You may not like it, and that's fine. But what's not fine is when you're constantly coming to these platforms just to say how much you don't like it. All right. I feel like this. If you don't like something, you don't partake in it. You don't like how something look, you don't look at it. You don't like going in a particular building, you stay the hell away from the building. Okay. You don't come inside of a building just to spray paint inside that building how much you hate the way it's built or you don't like the architecture. That's stupid. So I believe one of the main elements of code on these YouTube streets is, one, know where you're going when you go to a platform. And if you're not familiar with that platform, keep your damn mouth shut till you see what's going on. Also, you might want to keep your damn mouth shut if you don't have anything good to say. Because if you do it in my chat room, I'm probably going to come back and give you smoke. Yeah, you're probably going to get smoked. So why waste the keystrokes? Number two, just like Lady Ming said earlier, the YouTube world is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So not only should you watch what you say, you need to watch what you type, because people are watching. And if you claiming to be loyal to one side, and then you're over on the exact opposite side claiming to be loyal over there, you may be getting away with it now, but you're not going to get away with it long. Why? Because just like you are all over the internet, so is everybody else. Remember that. But anyway, good show, ladies, as always. Lady Kendra had to drop off. I think she has something going on. I think she has some people at the house. But good show, ladies, as always. What I need you folks to do is I need y'all to go on down to the Proper Thought series on Facebook. That's Proper Thought series on Facebook. That's the main page. I think we're up to a stack. Let's go ahead and make it happen before the end of the month's out. It would be greatly appreciated. Proper Thought series on Facebook. It's a community page. Make sure you like it, follow it, share it, give it to your friends, give it to your mama, give it to your daddy if you know who he is. Also, get on down here to the TPOT bandwagon page. Go ahead, send us a friend request. I'll make sure it gets clicked quick. Okay, and also get on down there to the Popular Thought Series fan group page. Yeah, that's the Popular Thought Series fan group page. We are almost up to 3,000 members. I can't believe almost 3,000 of y'all like to sit back and listen to my shit. What's the matter with you people? What is the matter with you? But yeah, go ahead, request to be a member. You'll get accepted really, really quick. Trust me. And down there, you know, it's a group. So it's not just me up there talking shit. It's a lot of other people up there talking shit too. Other people in the group post things. There's always good things down there. So go ahead down to the Proper Thought Series group fan page. There's always some good material floating around on there, even if it ain't my material. Also, check us out on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's Proper Thought on Instagram. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. You're guaranteed to get a follow back when I get around to checking it. When I check it, I will follow you back. I promise. Also, go ahead and hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Twitter, TPOT on Twitter. That's at TPOT Media on Twitter. That's at TPOT Media on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. You guaranteed to get a follow back. As soon as I see that follow, I'll follow you right back. Everyone who follows me knows that I also follow them. And like I always say every week, follow us on Twitter. I'm going to haunt your black ass in your sleep tonight. Also, make sure you get down there at the old website, www.don'teventryi.wikifoundry.com. That's www.don'teventryi.wikifoundry.com. There's always some good stuff on there. Like I tell y'all every week, you can actually go up there and you can see my old archives from the Nubia Hood radio days. You also can get a short bio about TPOT and what we got going on. And also, you can actually catch up with the Unicorn 4 there as well. Yeah, get on up there. You can see the short bio of all four of them, and they all have their own page on the channel. So if you're interested in finding out about the Unicorn 4, get on up to the old website, www.don'teventryi.wikifoundry.com. And also, like I said, I've been touting this for a minute. Tribute to the Fallen, the Tribute to the Fallen page. Y'all gotta check it out. People have been sending me pictures, and I've been posting them up. Tribute to the Fallen is a page that I put up many years ago, way before I started doing this YouTube stuff and all of that. What it is a page of people who have met an untimely demise, whether it be by street violence or police violence. And each one of those people, their picture and their name is put on a carousel, and they will have a tribute going to them as long as TPOT is alive. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and y'all got a minute, right? We got a minute, right? Let me see if I can show it to y'all. Boom. There it is. See that? Can y'all see that? See, Tribute to the Fallen.
Yeah, that's dope, Brother X.
You see the, yeah, you know, it's a Tribute to the Fallen carousel. You get on there. Some of the people you will recognize, some you will not. Some are national cases. Some are cases from pictures that people sent me. You will see familiar faces up there, of course, like Tamir Rice and Trayvon Martin and, you know, Walter Scott and people like that. But there's also a lot of people up there that you won't recognize. So if you got somebody that you know that has met an untimely demise through violence, a meaningless death, make sure that you send me that photograph and give me their name, and I'll make sure that it gets up on the old Tribute to the Fallen carousel. You know what I mean? This is like I said, this is something I've been doing for a while, and I think it's a good thing. I do. So if you have pictures, make sure you send them to me. Like I said, you can get right up on my website, and when you get on the website, my email and all that stuff is in there. So if you got somebody you want to make tribute to, make sure you send me their picture and their name, and I will make sure they get on the old Tribute to the Fallen. All right. So I want to thank everybody tonight for coming through. I want to thank you folks for watching. It's always appreciated. I want to thank my mods, all the people in the chat. My mods always doing what they supposed to do. I appreciate y'all coming by, spending some time with us. It's always a pleasure to have y'all here. As always, go ahead and on your way out the door, make sure you hit that old like button. It's greatly appreciated. And also, before you leave, you probably want to hit this here. You want to hit this here. See that coming up in the chat there? That old Streamlabs donate button. You might want to hit that. Drop a few coins in the bucket. Yeah, man. You know this is worth money. Drop a few coins in the bucket. It's always greatly appreciated. Whether it's $1, $10, $100, $1,000, $1,000,000, it would be greatly appreciated. All right. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming through and spending some time with us tonight here on the old TPOT YouTube page. And also, I want to thank the ladies of Thought, Lady Kendra, Lady Classic, Lady Ming, and Lady Katz, and also my New York City correspondent, Teacher Tanisha, for coming through. Always a good show when I got these 5 ladies on the panel. You already know what it is, Negro hoes. You know what it is. So
no doubt, Brother X.
So anyway, already, Teach, they know what it is, Teach. They do.
Facts. All day.
But anyway, with that, I will leave you with 3 words, like I always do. Open your mind. And make
100.
sure you have your black behinds here next week, same time, same channel, same live and directness that you see every week right here on the old TPOT YouTube page. Next week, y'all, I'm gonna be back at old TPOT Central. My people was nice enough to let me come to their house and broadcast the last 2 nights, so I'm thankful for that. But we're gonna try to be back at the old TPOT headquarters next week and doing our thing, because see, I can play my sound effects and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I will see y'all next week, and I will see y'all out there on those YouTube streets. All right.
Good night, guys.
And we
Good
are
night. Have a blessed one, everyone.
out of here.
Good night. Cheers, y'all.
Blessings.
Good night.
Good night, Mama. So what's up, Uncle Ro?
Peace, folks. Stay on the line, Teach. I want to talk to you after the show's over. Don't go off.
Okay.
Peace, folks.